Let you all open all your three eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Let's start with the Sadguru Vandanam. Nityanandam Paramasukhanam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadusham Tattvamasyaadilakshయం Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Let's go through the disclaimers. Security measures. No photography, video, audio recording. Important cautions. Please be aware of the important cautions. What is spa manifestation? Let's hear from Bhagwan himself explaining what is spa manifestation.
All the 25 states of consciousness, when they happen in you due to your chemicals and hormones ups and downs, it is powerlessness. When it happens in you out of your free will and consciousness, it is powerfulness. That's all. When you fall into sleep, it is powerlessness. When you enter into sleep, it is powerfulness. When you fall into dream, it is powerlessness. When you decide to dream, it is powerfulness. So I have added the ultimate powerfulness, Turiyatita, in your whole being and doing. Manifest all the powers. Understand, power manifestation is nothing but cognitive shift. It is not work. It is cognitive shift. Understand? It is just cognitive shift. It's not work. Work is a 4-letter word. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, playing with life, playing with being alive. Static matter, dynamic activity, strategic existence, all these three has no boundary. You are one with it. You are alive in everything. Everything listens to you. Everything decides as you want. Power manifestation is cognitive shift, raising your frequency, not work.
Now let's understand who is Paramashiva. Bhagwan himself has beautifully explained the Paramashiva in all of us.
Paramashiva does manifestation, maintenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusion and liberation. He resides in his supreme Paramashiva Swarupa as Ajomuha or Adhomuha, unborn, beyond form, formlessness. Is Paramashiva Swarupa. That Paramashiva Swarupa manifests with these 5 faces as Sadashiva, Tatpurusha, Vamadeva, Ahora, Satyojata, Ishana. 5 faces he manifests and does the Panchakritya, Srishti, manifestation, Sthiti, sustenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, Trobhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, liberation. Understand? He does all these 5 jobs. Through these 5 phases. Now listen carefully. Tatpurusham, Vamadevam, Satyojatam, Ahoram, Ishanam. These 5 phases does Panchakrityas. Each phase, each dimension is not just one F-A-C-E phase, P-H-A-S-E phase. It's not just F-A-C-E, P-H-A-S-E. Understand? The creation, not just creation getting created, even sustenance need to be created, destruction need to be created, and pulling out of delusion need to be created, liberation need to be created. Then creation, manifestation need to be maintained. Maintenance, sthiti itself need to be maintained. Destruction, samhara, the rejuvenation need to be sustained, maintained when it is happening. Pulling out of delusion, trobhava, need to be maintained when it is happening. And anugraha, liberation, need to be maintained when it is happening. Those micromilliseconds when it is happening. So understand, Satyojata Murti as 5 phase, Ishana Murti as 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti as 5 phase, Agora Murti has 5 phase, Tatpurusha Murti has 5 phase. So, Tatpurusha Murti has his 5 phase, Agora Murti has his 5 phase, Vamadeva Murti has his 5 phase, Satyojata Murti has his 5 phase, Ishana Murti has his 5 phase, All these 5 murtis, five faces put together is 25 faces of Mahasadashiva.
Bhagavan beautifully explained Paramashiva. Now, who is His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam? Let's hear from Bhagavan himself. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, is a reviver of Kailasha, the ancient Enlightenment civilization, the great cosmic borderless nation. Is an avatar from and is a Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, has made Science of Power Manifestation Yoga temple-based university for humanity, Sovereign Order of Kailasha, led by His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam and Nityananda Order of Monks, Nuns, Hindu diasporas, are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to humanity. Nityananda Hindu University, world's largest with extended campus in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time-capsuling, decoding, spreading and reviving 20 million source books of Hinduism and 64 sacred arts, science like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, Vastu, and many more. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam is 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shamala Pita Sarvanya Pita, ancient apex body of Hinduism and present emperor of Surya Vamsa Surangi Swamrajyam. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam has survived the worst persecution of multiple assassination attempts on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. Beautifully, Bhagavan now explains who is His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam.
Everything is infinitely powerful. You realize your potentiality. You establish yourself in the completion, space of completion. You are God, that's all. All of us are gods. The first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the whole 360 degree. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel, experience the skin of the stone on rock on which I was sitting and the skin of this body. Both carry me equally. In both I exist equally. Sangha is a place where the tattvas are taught to you, and till it becomes satya, you are supported. Akhadas are basically founded by Sadashiva himself. All is ganas, Shiva ganas. Exactly the word gana means. In your length, breadth, depth, if you are filled by Shiva, you are Shiva Gana. All the Shiva Ganas formed the first Akhada. Later on, much later, Kapila Muni organizes Mahanirvani Akhada. Then all other Akhadas. As Mahamandaleshwar of Mahanirvani Akhada, the oldest apex body of Hinduism, I welcome every one of you. What I am teaching is from original Agamas Yogapada. The science very clearly declares, Sadashiva is very clear, manifestation of these powers happen when you experience oneness with Sadashiva. When you choose your Guru, the best thing is find a person who is enlightened, experienced, who can play with energy, who can directly transmit experience to you, and who is in tune with the original Shastras, the source of the knowledge. All the revealed scriptures available about the yoga directly by Sadashiva for you to do research, study, practice, question the people who teach.
The science of power manifestation is a gift to the humanity which is authentic, time-tested, scientific and foolproof. Diksha, or the initiation from His Divine Holiness Nityananda Paramashivam, makes the science directly an experience for the initiates. The experience is directly authenticated by the Pramanas. The Shastra Pramanas, the eternal, unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, the Veda and Agamas. The Apta Pramanas, the experience of the Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nayanamars, Alvars and Siddhars, who are the authority of Hinduism, who have scientists who time-tested and verified the science of power manifestation. The Atma Pramanas are the avatar who land on the planet Earth to give a superconscious breakthrough to humanity. His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar, personal experience of power manifestation. Shakshi Pramanas, or the experience of the millions of disciples, devotees and followers initiated into the science of power manifestation by Bhagavan himself. Pratyaksha Pramanas, or the scientific studies which can be measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state. Nityananda Jnana Paddhati to manifest the power of depth, moving heavy object and from a distance on the ground. And let's go to the powerful cognition from Bhagavan Satsang on Bhagavad Gita.
Sapashyati
Yat sankhyaih prapyate sthanam tatyogaihi abhigamyate ekam sankhyancha yogancha yap pashyati sapashyati. The translation: only the one who perceives discriminative knowledge and intense action as one really perceives. For the state achieved through discriminative knowledge or through intense action is one and the same. Bhagavan is showing the beautiful path of attaining the ultimate. Bhagavan is using 2 times the same word, pashyati. Yatsankhyaih prapyate sthanam tatyohaihi abhigamyate ekam sankhyancha yogancha yappashyati sapashyati. Yappashyati sapashyati, that is a key word in this whole verse. Who perceives. The discriminative knowledge and intense action as one, only he perceives the truth, the ultimate. How can you perceive the knowledge, Atma Vichara and Karma Yoga, both as one and the same? How is it possible? Because human beings have an innate hatred towards the work, intense action. If somehow they get tuned, they build a pattern of intense action, They develop innate hatred to just sitting and contemplating, exploring themselves. Unfortunately, human beings are always single-sided. They tend to lean to one extreme. Either you move to the contemplation, mental work, or you move to the intense action, physical work. Very rarely people perceive both as one and the same. I tell you, the key word in this verse, yap pashyati sapashyati, I can give you one key to understand the discriminative knowledge and intense action is one and the same. The bridging point is exploring your possibility is samyama. Discovering your own possibilities is samyama. If you are discovering your possibilities by constantly contemplating, you are doing jnana samyama. If you are exploring all your possibilities through intense action, you are doing karma samyama. If you do samyama, either on jnana or on karma, you will understand both are one and the same. I can tell you from my own experience how I was exploring my different possibilities and sharing with the world. If you start looking at my life, from the age of 12, I can say, I've started exploring the Jnana Samyama through the contemplation, exploring and discovering my different possibilities. Please understand, when you explore and discover your emotional possibilities, that drives into bhakti. When you explore and discover your physical possibilities, you become yogi. When you explore and discover your mental possibilities, it becomes siddhis. When you explore and discover your conscious possibilities, it becomes enlightenment. From the age of 12, I was constantly exploring and discovering my various possibilities through contemplation. From the age of 22, I am exploring and discovering my various possibilities through intense action. If you see, when I started my public life, my activities, I was not even able to speak English fluently, more than 2 sentences. I started my public life in 2003. I can't speak. And at the most I can sit for 2-3 hours and take some classes or do some healing. Then I'll lie down. My body was not capable of continuously working. But I could see very clearly when I started exploring and discovering my capabilities, my possibilities. Now, so many extraordinary truths gets directly downloaded into the system without even my effort and comes out. And hours of intense action, work, automatically is happening in my system without even me remembering the idea of tiredness. Forget about controlling or suppressing tiredness, idea of tiredness. The possibilities. When you explore the possibilities and discover, I tell you, exploring the possibilities and discovering the possibilities suddenly makes the zigzag puzzle of life fall in proper way. Maya reveals her true form. The delusion removes its illusion component. If the illusion component is removed from delusion, what remains is divine. It is the illusion component in delusion constantly keeps you deluded. In Vedanta, they have a beautiful simile, Rajju Sarbanyaya. The rope is mistaken as a snake. It is the illusion of the snake keeps the delusion of fear and makes you do the action of running away or trying to kill the rope. You are running away or trying to kill, both are foolish. Because the real solution comes by removing the illusion component, not by acting at those moments. Most of the time, any action you do, you are in trouble. Because the illusion component need to be removed from the delusion. Exploring and discovering your various possibilities takes away the illusion component from the cosmic delusion itself. The very cosmic delusion takes away from the very cosmic delusion, illusion component disappears. It is like in dirty water. If all the dirt settles down, it becomes fresh water. Same way, in the Maya, if illusion is taken away, it becomes Maya. Maya means mother. When the akara of illusion is added, Maya becomes Maya. When the akara of illusion is removed, Maya becomes Maya. Exploring your various possibilities and discovering your possibilities is what I call samyama.
So beautiful. Now let's go to the Shastra Pramana for the power of manifesting depth.
Verse 1.16 शुद्धतत्त्वसन्धानाद्वा अपशुशक्तिः शुद्धतत्त्वसन्धानाद्वा अपशुशक्तिः.
Shiva Sutra, Sutra 1.16. Bhagavan Paramashiva says, by fixing the self and aiming at pure essence, cognizing from the depth of one's being that all that exists is Paramashiva, the pure essence, Suddha Tattva, and attaining and uniting with that pure essence is existential reality. Paramashiva, he experienced Paramashiva and manifests Paramashiva's infinite power. Bhagavan beautifully said, exploring our possibilities in physical, in mental, in cognition, everything, which leads us to the enlightenment. Again, he says how there is no point in fighting or doing any action when you know it is just a rope. It is not the snake. And he says so beautifully how we understand the Maya. We are caught up in the Maya matrix. The Maya, once Narada asked Krishna, what is Maya? How do I understand Maya? And Krishna was painting the nails of Radha, and he said, why are you doing all these things? And this is like bondage to Krishna. And Krishna smiles and says, okay, go and fetch some water for me. So Narada goes to fetch water to planet Earth, and there he sees a woman. He falls in love with her, gets married, gets children, starts his life, goes work, does some work and get the money to the house and takes care of 4 children and runs his life. Now there was a huge flood which wiped away all his wealth, all his children, all his wife. Everything was gone, and he was also about to die when he remembers and calls, Krishna, help me. And then he wakes up to realize that he has to take water to Krishna. Then he takes back to water and says, Krishna, oh Krishna, I don't want to know what is Maya. I understood. It is the delusion, Bhagavan beautifully says, the cosmic delusion itself disappears when you wake up. Here he says how illusion to be removed from the delusion and all the things that we need to do, align ourselves again and again, the highest reality, and drop the delusion consciously. So we also wake up. Only if we want to, we wake up, but intensely in the depth is where the whole door is, and we have to wake up from that unconsciousness by strong perseverance of holding that Paramashiva is the only space, Paramashiva is the only strength, and Paramashiva is the reality. And continuously holding that simply will wake us out this Maya matrix. So powerful, so beautiful. Bhagavan explained the whole cognition. With that cognition, let's go to the Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana, this is from Valmiki Ramayan, Yuddha Khanda, book number 6, chapter 74. During the war, after being struck by Brahma missile released by Indraja, Lakshmana became unconscious. 67 crosses of monkey fainted Hanuman and Vibhishana, however, in consciousness, rode about in the battlefront with the torch in their hands, making a search of Jambavan. They find Jambavan. Jambavan requested Hanuman to proceed to Himalayas by crossing over the ocean to bring 4 important herbs. Amrita Sanjeevani, Vishalya Kharani, Suvarna and Sandani. so as to bring consciousness back to the fainted army of monkeys. Hanuman begins his journey to Himalayas and reaches the Mount Rishabha, where the wonderful herb exists. Hanuman searches for 4 wonderful herbs, but the herbs appeared invisible for him. Hanuman uprooted the mountain cloth with the 4 celestial herbs and carries it along with him. Inhaling the odor of those herbs, Lakshmana and all the monkeys regain their normal health. So powerful how the Sanjeevani hill had the ultimate herb to regenerate the Lakshmana and all the monkeys. Now, let's go to the Atma Pramana, narration of Bhagwan's Leela.
And second statement you say, 99% of the time we are living there. No, it is not true. Understand, many Western traditions say, the atheist traditions in the West say, man made God in his mold. Some of the religious traditions in the West say, God made man in his own mold. I say, God, whether he made man in his own mold or not, I don't know. I don't know God. But I know Sadashiva, God L. He did not make you in his mold. He made you in his own sea. Listen to this word. I am using the word sea. S-E-E, not S-E-A. Listen to this word very carefully. See is an action. I wanted to say, when I see, one end is me, another end is you, another end is you, that's all. Because you are seeing with 2 eyes, what you are seeing, you can't absorb that into you. But I am seeing with the 3 eyes, what I see, I can absorb that into me. And I know it is my own other end. Understand, that is why I am using the word, not even seeing, see. I am giving you exact, literally what I wanted to convey, the relationship between you and Sadashiva. You are the see, not seen, seeing, see of Sadashiva. Listen, just now I made a statement. When you see through the 3rd eye, whatever you see, you can manipulate as you want. It means what you see will be your own extension. It is you. See, if I can make my right hand bend, do whatever I want, I can do, means this is me. What you understand as me is what I convey through the word see. In you, the me is only materially which is connected to you. In me is what is connected to me even by see. Listen. For you, me means what is materially connected to you. For me means what is seely connected to me. I don't know how much you catch it. I'll just tell you this small story which really happened. Arunagiri Vishra was trying to explain Advaita to me. He was sitting in the temple. This side, his left side was the Arunachala hill. Right side was the Garbha Mandir of the Arunachala temple. The front I was sitting. Exact eyes you guys are having now when I say me is C. How you are? That is exactly the way I was looking at him. He said, see this hill, this Arunachala, you, me, all one and the same. When he put the hand, of course, I was inside the hand. Literally I saw the hill just moving, the Garbha Mandir moving, me moving and disappearing. He, me, hill, Garbha Mandir, all disappearing into him. When experientially I saw whatever he was seeing, he is able to Photoshop it. He can just pick it up, put it, and if you say, I wanted to ask thousands of things and came to energization, the moment you hugged me, everything disappeared. Everything disappeared. I forgot. Some things I remembered later, some things I don't even remember. How many of you have this experience? Then you can understand what I am trying to tell. He just merged the whole thing. Listen.
The Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana. Now let's go to the Shakshi Pramana. Shakshi Pramanas are the initiated disciples of Bhagavan, demonstrating the powers. Now, power of depth, moving heavy object at a distance.
Object which is around 10 kgs from Jason's hand here, and first you can see the measurement of the kalasha we are having. So now you can see that it is exactly 9.4 kgs, and now we'll be placing that the kalasha which is 9.4 kgs on Jason's hand. Before that, we will be actually taping his hand to the Kristashila here, as it might hurt his hands as it is heavy. And it is also how we are able to move any matter just by humming the Mahavakya and connecting back to Swamiji and the space of oneness. The same way, any problem even in your life, just by seeing the power manifesting, the Shakti Avishkarana here, you will be able to move any experience which is there inside you, or anywhere the matter which is stuck inside you. That same matter, when we move the matter outside, the same matter which is stuck inside you will move instantly. And another thing which Swamiji has beautifully told is when we Rudras are the extensions of Mahasadashiva, we take responsibility to bring all the beings to have the same joy, the same experience of being a Rudra, Swamiji's own DNA. And now you will see that Jason's hand is completely flat and we are taping it such that it will not be easy to move, and also his hand can be comfortable holding the heavy kalasha so that it doesn't move and the power can manifest extraordinarily. So now his hand is completely flat on the Krishnashila. The Krishnashila is nothing but a granite slab which is also a facilitator to manifest the Shaktis and helps us to connect with the experience of his own DNA. Now we will be placing the Kalasha on Jason's hand. And as now we have taped his hand and put his hand flat on the Krishnashila, it is stable and it is not moving. So now Sukada Maharaj, you can start humming the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya is Om Nityananda Mahasadashivoham. It is a beautiful mantra and which Swamiji, the Mahavakya which Swamiji has initiated us in, and that is a very powerful mantra which we use to just immediately get back to the space of oneness and start manifesting the powers of Mahasadashiva. So now Sukada Maharaj will be humming the Mahavakya and all of you actually can join. And the same experience, like I already said, whatever matter is physically in front of you, when you're able to move that and even you witness the Shakti being expressed in your life, if any matter is there inside you which is not moving, which you're not able to have a breakthrough with, the same Mahavakya can be chanted and the same breakthrough can happen even in your lives. So now you can see that Sukada Maharaj has manifested the power of consciousness over matter and it has actually moved from a stable position. It has moved to, he has moved consciousness, he has moved the matter of 9.4 kgs. And this is how Swamiji beautifully trains us, not only to move just physical small objects here, but including the temple pillars and the whole building the Mahasadashiva's temple is only being done by the Rudras through power manifestation.
Now we went through the Apta, Atma and Shakshi Pramana. Let's go to the instruction and Pratyaksha Pramana to manifest the power of depth in moving object, heavy object at a distance.
Pratyaksha Pramana. Scientific studies. What can be measured? Measuring the effects of being in enlightenment state. Vedic sciences have always maintained that consciousness is the very substance of space and time. His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Paramahamsa Nityananda, has clearly defined the existence of 11 dimensions of consciousness. As per his elucidation, space can exist by itself. On the other hand, time can exist only in the presence of space, but can still exist without other dimensions, including the obvious ones, depth, length, and breadth. Source from Avatar Shastra, Chapter 2, Consciousness, page 83. In quantum terms, thought too is energy. Every cell of our body produces thoughts in the form of signals, which may be electrical, chemical, or otherwise. These can be measured in TPS, or thoughts per second. The normal TPS of the average human being can be hundreds of or thousands. Some thoughts are processed consciously, while others are processed unconsciously. A TPS of 0 is the state of Advaita, or enlightenment. Space is made up of strings of potential energy, which are in constant vibration, spanda, leading to the creation of virtual particles. This is a very basis of the Vedic truth of consciousness. In the Avatar Shastra, Swamiji mentions quantum physicist Amit Goswami's article about entanglement between two people. Quantum physicist of Indian origin, Amit Goswami, made two people meditate together. They were separated in two chambers, one person in each. When one person had a light stroked at his eye, it caused the firing of certain frequency in the brain. Remarkably, at the same moment, the other person's brain also fired, even though he never saw the light. This proves that the energies of people intuitively affect each other.
There are two kinds of movement in the world. One kind of movement is maximum speed limit with the speed of light. That's the kind of movement that is allowed in the domain that we call space and time. That's where matter moves, that's where things look diverse. But the other kind of domain is where the speed of communication is infinite. We call it non-local. That's the domain of potentiality. And if there is instant connection in that domain, then do you see it got to be one? If things are instantly interconnected, that interconnectedness is a oneness. That is the oneness that mystics and spiritual teachers talk about. That is the oneness. So simply by recognizing that objects are possibilities, we are looking at a oneness. And then it's just a question of language. What should we call this oneness?
Whole brain activation studies were done on Nityananda Gurukul students. The Bender-Gestalt test assesses the level of whole brain activation, the student's ability to see the big picture and recall the details of it. It is more than an IQ test. It was showing outstanding results on the memory ability of the Gurukul students. It is very unusual for students to remember such a high number of Gestalt forms. Each Gurukul student attended to the test card carefully and persistently transposed the Gestalt form. Remaining calm, cool, and collected, they initially approached each Gestalt form with a keen observation and analysis of the form, and then exhibited a steady perseverance, attending 8-minute details. Source: Avatar Shastra, Chapter 8, Third Eye Awakening, page 177. Charting Future Terrain with Higher Education. This article explores the role of contemplative practices within an emerging interdisciplinary area that are referred to as creativity and consciousness studies. Within the new area, consciousness is studied from an integral perspective that brings together insights from a range of wisdom traditions and modern science. Meditation is presented as an essential first-person modality for investigating consciousness, and formal and non-formal approaches to meditation and delineated to establish important guidelines for the introduction of meditation into an academic setting. The role of first-person experience helps to develop new notions of rigor and interdisciplinary learning that can lead to an expanded educational experience, which can help to develop qualities such as mental clarity, inner calm, insights, compassion, and creativity. The article closes with reflections on the importance of expanding our approach to education in light of the demanding challenges and creative opportunities in today's world. Source: Meditation, Creativity, and Consciousness. Power of Depth Dimension. Moving heavy object at a distance. Setting up. For the setting up process, you will need a camera with a timestamp. Yeah, Nanjana, this is optional. You will need any heavy object with a stable bottom. For example, you can use a speaker, a heavy pot, a stone grinder, etc. Next, you will need a chalk or a wipeable marker. Next, you will need a ruler. Take a few moments to set up your camera. Step number 1, download a timestamp app. Step number 2, click on video. Step number 3, ensure that time is shown on screen. And step number 4, make sure the camera is facing you. Please take a few minutes to set it up. Now the guidelines. Before we start the power manifestation process, let us get ourselves ready. For the setup, step number 1, place the heavy objects in front of you on the ground at a distance. Step number 2, draw an outline around the base of the object. Step number 3, set up your camera to be focused on the heavy object for the entire duration of the manifestation. Start. Step number 4, turn on the video recording with timestamp. Step number 5, apply a Nanjana between your brows if you have. Next, bring your awareness between your brow center and gently focus while connecting to Paramashiva. Step number 6, keep your attention fully to the object kept at a distance in front of you without touching it and drop any expectations that arise. Step number 7, sit unclutched for 21 minutes, listening to the Mahavakya chanting. Step number 8, manifest the movement of the heavy object without touching. Step number 9, after the Mahavakya subsides, verify how much the heavy object has moved beyond the outline. Step number 10, carefully bring the camera close to capture the object's movement. Take your ruler and measure the object's travel. Step number 11, after you have recorded the movement, you can turn off your camera. Step number 12, celebrate with gratitude your manifestation of moving the heavy object. Now, let us listen to the spiritual instructions.
Power manifestation instructions. Let's sit straight, the head, neck and back in a straight line so that beautifully the Kundalini energy raises to the Agnya where the manifestation happens. Usually our awareness is on Muladhara, Swadhisthana and Manipuraha where navel center, your below navel center. Here, bringing the awareness to your third eye and sitting straight will give us amazing possibility of power manifestation. Now let's understand few words that Bhagavan is repeatedly using. Shaktipada, oneness, be unclutched, initiation. So here first we will see in Bhagavan's words what is Shaktipada.
Let me give an introduction about what is Shaktipada process. Please understand. You would have seen or heard about how the chicken sits on the egg and hatches. Of course, in the modern countries, this does not happen. Machine sits on the egg and or egg sits on the machine. In those days, originally when hens and chicken were getting produced on the planet Earth, the hen used to sit on the chicken and hen used to sit on the egg and the chicken will come out of the egg. See, same way, Sadashiva sitting means the ultimate cosmic energy sitting on the individual soul and making the individual soul into cosmic energy is Shaktipada. Hen sitting on the egg and making the chicken happen, same way. You may think, how come, what is going on here? That hen is only sitting just by the body heat of the hen, the egg is becoming chicken. Because no surgery is done and nothing goes inside. It's only sitting. Same way, it is just sitting. It's only the presence, the Shaktipada makes the individual soul into cosmic soul.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explained Shaktipada, how individual soul becomes cosmic soul. And let's listen to initiation.
See, let me
explain the initiation. Initiation is the process beyond your intellectual understanding. The transmission of lamp happens. Now you understood something intellectually. There is something which is not understood, which can't be transmitted through the words. That is transmitted. That's what we call initiation. Sometimes I tell people that unless you are initiated, the techniques do not create the result. The reason is you do not grasp completely whatever is expressed through words. Initiation is like it just transmits whatever need to be transmitted beyond logic and beyond words. People ask me why to wear this bracelet or this mala and all those things. This all will remind you. Why bracelet in the hand? It will remind you before eating, did you meditate? It's a constant reminder. Before eating, let you be reminded, did you do the meditation? That is why this bracelet. That is why this mala. That is why this external things. Sometimes these external things does a big job of reminding you constantly. That is why take the help of external things also, nothing wrong. People ask me, why we can just be spiritual without having external things? If you can, really you are welcome. But I don't think anybody who speaks in that way is successful. I've never seen people becoming successful, avoiding the external things, just having internal things. And it is just a nice way of escaping from yourself.
Beautifully, Bhagwan explained initiation. Let's listen to be unclutched. What is to be unclutched?
The thoughts, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Because the gap between two thoughts is too small. The neutral space between the two thoughts is too small. You think all the thoughts are connected and it is in the shape form. It is not. By your very nature, every thought is independent, illogical, unconnected, and unclutched. Between every thought, you experience a neutral space. When you change the gear, whether you go from neutral to 1 or 1 to 2 or 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 4 to whatever gears you may change, but every time you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to the next gear. Even if you want to go from 2 to 3, you have to come to the neutral space. Only then you can go to 3. Same way, between every thought, you experience a neutral space. You experience a neutral space between every thought. Between every thought, that neutral space, that silence is what I call peace or bliss. The peace which exists, the bliss which exists already in you, between every thought, the gap of the thought, the gap between the thoughts, that neutral space is the peace, is the bliss. When you understand you are unconnected, independent, illogical, and untouched by your very nature, you will start experiencing the neutral space in you, neutral space which exists in you. You will start living from moment to moment in spontaneity. You need to understand one more thing. This technique of being unclutched, it does miracles in your being. In the body level or in the mental level or in the being level. In every level, when you understand the truth, by your very nature, you are untouched. The tremendous quantum transformation. You take a quantum jump, the transformation happens in quantum, not step by step. Just one jump. You take a quantum jump and experience the truth awakening in you.
The oneness space is the most beautiful space that Bhagavan himself is explaining how we are ferocious. Beyond the tiredness and boredom, we can experience the space of oneness and be unclutched.
Oneness is not imagination. Oneness is not visualization. Oneness is not even just declaration. It is your existence. An idea which is you is oneness. The idea which has become part of your very space, which does not tire you or bore you by the passage of the time, is oneness. Mahadeva says in the Agama, Sadashiva beautifully explains in the Agama, Kala, Yama cannot tire you or bring boredom to you if something becomes your space. Devi achieved the blissful state and union with Mahadeva on Shivaratri day because our space became oneness. Anything which brings tiredness or boredom has not yet become your space. If living in this body brings you tiredness and boredom, you are not going to be living in this body forever. When that becomes too much, you are going to drop it and move ahead. If you want to be in oneness forever, it should become part of your space, means you should become ferocious with you and break this very tiredness and boredom. Only when you deal you with the ferociousness, you break the tiredness and boredom. With that ferociousness, you need to make oneness as your space. Anything stands as an imagination in the length level, visualization in the breadth level, declaration in the depth level. If you open your time with ferociousness, it just sinks into space level. With this ferociousness, the time layer in you opens, and the oneness from imagination to visualization to declaration, it becomes your space, the way of existence.
The most important, Bhagavan says, being unclutched, understanding the Shaktipada, the oneness space, and chanting the Mahavakya. The Mahavakya, the power of the Mahavakya pushes you into the higher states of consciousness. Here Bhagavan himself explains how we can experience the Shaktipada, raised higher consciousness through Mahavakya.
It's one of the very important revelation by Sadashiva. All the electronic equipments work when the electrons are made to vibrate. That happens by the light. When the electricity is supplied, the light particle vibrates, the electronic equipment starts working. Just like that, the spiritual power
and the umbilical cord connection, spiritual umbilical cord connection between you and me, it works with sound particle. For example, my integrity with the cosmos, Sadashiva, Mahasadashiva, it reverberates in certain level of frequency. When you are integrated to me, you also start reverberating in the same frequency. If your integrity goes down, that is when you start connecting with me only as a manager or this organization head or your Purvashram father, mother. Your connection with me goes down to the lower level if the integrity gets reduced. I was wondering what is the way we can bring people to the higher integrity immediately and the feeling connection, so they start manifesting the powers. They start staying in the space of Sadashivatva. Sadashiva revealed a beautiful sound. I can tell you, this is like a password. At any point, if you are not able to bring yourself to oneness, you are a little shaken, disturbed, or for some reason, you are not able to bring yourself to oneness. This is like a password. You type, whether your mind feels connected or not, the energy will start flowing in you beyond the depth dimension. You see, all mind oscillation, restlessness, all mental idea based feeling connected or not feeling connected is only length, breadth, depth level, not in the space level. But this sound will straight infuse energy from the space level. Like for example, if the power goes off, automatically the generator will get switched on and the power supply will be going on. So end result will not be lost. Whether government power supply or the generator power supply, end result will not be stopped. So whenever you feel little that oneness is, you are not catching it, just feed this password. Immediately the oneness will open up and you will start manifesting the powers, energy, and the whole space will shift. It is directly from Sadashiva. It's a beautiful sound. I don't even want to say it's a mantra. It is not even a mantra because there is no meaning in it. You can't derive a meaning for it. It just flashed like a password for all the initiations I am giving. One single password for all the initiations I am giving. And the initiations I gave, I am giving, I will be giving for all that. This is like one password. Don't even repeat like a mantra. Just feed like a password and it will just open up. Your whole being will open up. Listen carefully. It starts with the vibration Om. Listen and then repeat. Om. Very deep. Om. Nityananda. Nityananda. Maha Sadashivam.
So Bhagavan gave beautiful explanation of how you can be in Shaktipada. Visualize Paramashiva who has come down as Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam from Kailasha. Remembering Paramashiva in your third eye, again and again, bringing your awareness to your third eye simply makes you manifest powers. Absolute unclutching. How Bhagavan said, the neutral zone, nothing ever touches the screen. Like same way, the movie does not touch the screen, whether it is happening in ferocious or any soft, beautiful, nothing touches the screen. Be unclutched like the screen. And to experience the state of Paramashiva, your inner space being completely unclutched, complete completion, to experience the space of Paramashiva. Inside us, the complete completion happens when we are in tune with Paramashiva, that everything is redundant and irrelevant. The essence of completion is irrelevant. Nothing matters in your life because everything is complete completion. Oneness with Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, in ferocious breaking the boredom and tiredness, just being in the space of oneness with Paramashiva to manifest the powers of Paramashiva. Tyaga as Paramashiva is your only strength, now declaring complete integrity with Bhagavan to experience the being of Paramashiva. How Bhagavan said, chanting the Mahavakya raises your frequency, and that is your only strength to manifest any reality. Being in this beautiful space of Paramashiva, you can experience such a beautiful space, state, powers, and becoming the being of Paramashiva, manifesting whatever you want. Now, you'll be manifesting the powers, watching the oneness capsule, and chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. We'll be playing the Mahavakya and the oneness capsule for you to manifest powers. At end of the Mahavakya, you can start with the verification and sharing and causing. Thank you.
Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Om Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Paramashivoham, 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 Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the powers in all our third eyes. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Nityananda Paramashivam. 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 Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Nityananda Paramashivam. 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 Nityananda Paramashivam नित्यानंद परमशिवम् नित्यानंद परमशिवम् नित्यानंद परमशिवम्
Paramashivoham. Let Paramashiva's third eye manifest in all our third eyes. Let the Amrita pour, let the Varni open up, manifest in all of us. Let Paramashiva overflow, manifest the power in all our third eyes. Om Jnana Paramashivoham. 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 Om Jnana Paramashivoham.
Verification process. Please ensure to thoroughly verify the following. Number 1, that the time and date stamp appear on your video. Number 2, that your video has a wide angle horizontal view and has a full view of the object at all times. Number 3, that your video recording is continuous without stopping and restarting during the manifestation process. Number 4, verify that you have not edited your video in any way and that the camera has not moved during the manifestation process. Number 5, but during the verification process, you will need to reposition the camera to capture the movement of the heavy object. Number 6, video verification of the object's movement by measuring the distance the object has traveled beyond the drawn outline. And number 7, now that the verification process is complete, the next instructions will guide you how to upload and share your video. Thank you so much for your participation.
Beautiful. We are at the end of the power manifestation, but most important part of the power manifestation. Here, we are going to share all that you have manifested with the social media groups. Here we have Sri Kailasha Kotyar Manifesting Power Groups. Thousands of people are part of that. And you can share there and you can post your powerful cognition and the videos. The link is tinyurl.com/powermanifestation. It is at the left corner of the page. You can click on it and you can post your beautiful experience in the power manifestation group. Why sharing and causing is very important part of power manifestation. Bhagavan beautifully explains that sharing is pulling us out of delusion and causing is liberating us. We are the ones who need to start experiencing the higher states of reality, how we need to exist. Beautifully, Bhagavan explains when you are sharing with others the ultimate beautiful multidimensional logic, your brain rewires into the higher space of consciousness the Turyatita state. Again and again, when you experience even a little bit, you share with the world, your experience becomes reality. Same thing when you cause others to come and get initiated for higher reality, you are caused into the higher purpose, the ultimate reality. Bhagavan says extreme causing, extreme power manifestation is extreme causing. So beautifully he explains how our strength is declared on Paramashiva. The power manifestation happens exactly in tune to that. And sharing with the world, continuously reiterating ourselves the experience that we had from the powerful cognition and manifesting the space of Paramashiva, the state of Paramashiva, the beings of Paramashiva, we become Paramashiva. Go on sharing and causing, which is the most important part of how you have experienced your reality. When you go to a temple, we pray and we see that beautiful experience happen in us, and then share with the world that how amazing the temple experience has manifested as your reality. Same way, when you manifest powers, when you share with the world, it becomes more and more the depth cognition of you, and you will be experiencing more powers. Even if you're manifested very small, it does not matter the quantity. Bhagavan says the quality is important. If it is authentic, please go ahead and share with the world. Do not doubt, have self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred come and block anything. Experience the ultimate in deep seeking and gratitude. Bhagavan manifest in you with a deep prayer, that asking Bhagavan to make this reality as your existential reality. With that, let's end with the Purna Mantra, thanking Bhagavan for all these great experience. We have come to the end of the Power Manifestation course, and we end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamadashyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhavate Sri Nityananda Parameshwaram Padaka Arpanamastu. Om Nityanandam. Thank you for participating in the Jnana Paddhati, Nityananda Jnana Paddhati course. Please go ahead and select more power manifestation and every day experience the ultimate reality for yourself. Nityananda.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham